The Xbox Game Event. Good for Game Pass, but bad for Xbox Series X. Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about literally just that. The Xbox Games Showcase that went down just a couple days ago on July, 23rd? Now, there's mixed opinions about the event. There's mixed opinions about Halo in and of itself. Really quick, I will touch on Halo. Because a lot of people had a little bit of mixed opinions on it. It's worth noting that apparently they were originally building it on Unreal Engine 4, and then they switched over to their own engine, Slipspace engine. It's also worth noting that this game was originally supposed to be built for the Xbox One, which may be the reason why the visuals were scaled back a little bit, because obviously a game so large on the Xbox One, they probably would have had to scale the graphic fidelity back a little bit, the visuals back. That's another thing to keep in mind. This game was not originally planned to be a launch game with Xbox Series X. It was just supposed to be an Xbox One game, right? And then they decided, well, you know what? Let's launch it on Xbox Series X as well as on Xbox One as well as on PC. So that's kind of one thing to keep in mind. That aside, the game, in my opinion, looks amazing. It looks like the gameplay is really promising. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see about multiplayer and all that good stuff. So, visuals aside, I think the game still looks like it's going to be an absolute blast. It's going to be incredible. And like I said, so far, it looks very promising. And I wouldn't let the visuals kind of hold you back too much. Because like I said, apparently also the other thing is that this build that they showed in this demo, apparently this build is only 4 months old, which is kind of hard to wrap my mind around. But apparently, Aaron Greenberg said to Alana Pierce on her show that, there's still many months until they launch. At the end of the year, there's still going to be time to polish it and kind of refine it, if you will. Kind of not refine it, but I guess again polish it, and there's still some work to be done on the game. So that aside, what about the showcase as a whole, right? Because obviously Halo Infinite was the big one that they showed off. Besides that, I'm looking at like all the lists and stuff, all the games. They showed off things like Fable. Obviously, Fable was just kind of an announcement trailer. I feel like if they came out and they said like, hey, maybe the developers could have came out and said, we're working on it. It's early in development. If they would have said something, but unfortunately, we got nothing really said. We just got a quick little teaser, which I think was still amazing. I think it was still really hype. But it would have been nice to get kind of a little bit more information, even just something like, hey, it's really early in development, or just any kind of, little tidbit of info would have been nice. So overall, a lot of people feel like it was a flop as far as an Xbox Series X event. One of the things I mentioned in a previous video is that Aaron Greenberg and Xbox as a whole, they were mentioning that the reason they were calling it an Xbox Games Showcase is because it wasn't meant to be an Xbox Series X showcase. It was meant to be an Xbox showcase. And so if you take that in mind, it was actually a pretty good presentation. Now, if you're looking at it like, comparing it to, how we've seen the PS5 presentation and looking at this as the parallel, I guess, if you will, then obviously you're gonna feel let down because it's not the same thing. I think the main point of this event was that Xbox's platform is Xbox Game Pass. It's not necessarily Xbox Series X or Xbox One or even Windows 10 or PC or whatever. It's Xbox Game Pass. And the big thing about this whole event was that most, if not all, of these games are going to be on Xbox Game Pass day one. And I've been saying for a long time, Xbox Game Pass is a killer deal. It's on PC. It's on Xbox One. It's going to be an Xbox Series X. If you get the Ultimate Game Pass, you get Game Pass for Xbox One. You get it for Windows 10, and you also get Xbox Live Gold all bundled in together. It's a crazy deal. Honestly, it is. I don't even understand how Microsoft can sustain Xbox Game Pass, because it is that good of a deal. Some people here and there complain like, oh, we don't get to keep the games or whatever, but like, come on. I mean, you're basically paying to rent games for, a long time, like a bundle of games, almost like a Netflix subscription, right? Think about it like a Netflix subscription. That's a perfect way to put it. Netflix has things coming in and out all the time, right? We'll get new releases, and sometimes we'll have things that are in Netflix for a super long time. Maybe licensing expires or whatever happens, and they remove certain things from Netflix. But you don't sit there and say, oh, well, Netflix isn't worth it. because you still have access to all these different, you know, forms of entertainment, all these TV shows, all these movies. And Xbox Game Pass, I would say, is the equivalent of that, but for games. You got access to all kinds of games, indie games, large AAA games. I mean, literally most, or if not all, Xbox big, you know, first-party titles go to Xbox Game Pass day one. Gears of War 5 did. Ori, I believe, did. Halo Infinite is going to be. What else? There's just so many. Like, they're all pretty much on Game Pass, all the big AAA titles. So it's kind of insane. So I think the selling point of this event was Xbox Game Pass, right? We got a little bit of a look at Forza Motorsport, that it's in development. It looks really promising. It looks great. We know that the Forza Motorsport games are absolutely amazing. They're always fantastic games. You know, we got a couple tidbits here and there, like how Ori and the Will of the Wisps is going to be optimized for Xbox Series X. It's going to be running at 4K, 120 frames per second, which is absolutely insane. I think that was huge. I mean, I love Ori, how it looks to begin with. And the fact that it's going to be even better, smoother, like that to me was also, you know, pretty big. Obviously, Hellblade is another one that's going to be coming. You know, there's all these different games. The Medium, right? The Medium looks like a crazy game. Obviously, I wish that, you know, they would have kind of showed it off a little bit more. There was actually something that they posted after the event. It was like a 3-minute kind of like, I guess, developer commentary where the developers kind of talking a little bit more about it. I feel like that should have been included in the presentation. But either way, you know, it was still really good. Like I said, we have Psychonauts 2 that was showed off. You know, they had an exclusive trailer for Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which obviously is not exclusive to Xbox as the platform. It's going to be on, you know, PC and PS4 and PS5 and Xbox Series X and Xbox One, all that as well. But it was so cool that they had that exclusive trailer to show off. I think the event wasn't as bad as we think. I think, if you're looking at it through the lens that this was supposed to be an Xbox Series X event, then you're going to be disappointed. But Xbox said from the start, it's not an Xbox Series X event. It's an Xbox event. And for that reason, you know, they tailored our expectations, right? They told us this isn't a Series X presentation. There's going to be games running on Series X or games that are going to be on Series X. But this is just an Xbox event, and I think the platform is Xbox Game Pass. I think the point is that, you know, a lot of people came out of this saying, well, I don't need an Xbox Series X. I can just play these games on PC. That's the point. Xbox, Microsoft, they don't care where you play it, right? They were selling the games. They were selling Xbox Game Pass. You played on Windows 10 PC. You played on Xbox Series X. You played on Xbox One. It doesn't matter to them. They're trying to sell you the content. They're trying to sell you the games, the Game Pass, all these different things. So, I don't think the main selling point was to sell you guys on Xbox Series X. Again, the whole idea is that if you want a powerful console experience that, you know, is more powerful than Xbox One, is probably more cost effective than getting an equivalent PC to an Xbox Series X, then you do have the Xbox Series X as an option for that console. But the whole thing for the longest time has been a family of platforms. That has been what they've been preaching for the last, you know, few years. It's a platform, a family, what did I just call it? A family of platforms, or a family of consoles, or whatever the phrasing is. That's the point of this event, right? So if you look at it from that point of view, all these games, or almost all these games, if not all of them, are going to be on Xbox Game Pass, most of them day one. That's huge. If you play it on PC, if you play it on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, maybe you play it a little bit on console, a little bit on PC, it doesn't matter. They're selling you the games, and that's what this was. It was an Xbox event, not an Xbox Series X event. So, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of make that video because I thought it was an interesting take on this event. Because, again, when you really think about it, you know, they said it from the start. Aaron Greenberg said it. You know, Xbox said it. This is an Xbox event, not necessarily a specific Series X event. So I think a lot of us maybe were looking at it through the wrong lens, because we were expecting it like to be the parallel of the PS5 event, and it wasn't that. It was just, you know, it was selling you guys Xbox games wherever you choose to play it, PC, Xbox One, Series X. It doesn't matter. And again, Xbox Game Pass is a crazy deal. I love it. It's such a good deal. It still blows my mind that it's even a thing, that they can even, you know, maintain a service like that. It's just amazing value. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Are you still disappointed with the event? Does it make more sense from that perspective? How do you guys view it? Has this video changed your perspective at all and perception or whatever? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, dislike if you didn't like it. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel because we do a bunch of gaming news, let's plays, gameplays, things like that. So a little bit of something for everyone. And we got a lot more next gen to talk about. So don't go anywhere. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe, stay well, and until the next one, my friends, game on, and thanks for watching.